Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the UK League Championship here at the Monster Energy DreamHack Studios. Now, I'll be kicking off for game at number 3 between Enclave and Demise. Now, all of our other games have had quite a lot on the line. This game, less so. For Enclave, it's about getting a win at least.
This is the most on the line because I feel like, and it's not a sure thing, but this is probably the last real chance for Enclave to get a point. Because if you look at their schedule for next week, they face against on number 1 and number 2 teams, XL and Barrage. And they've struggled so far. I think those matchups are going to be extremely difficult. But against Demise, this is the closest team to them in the standings. They're only 2 points above. If Enclave win this, they can actually make it out of 8th place. If they lose it, it's ruled out. Now, again, if they do win this, they still have to beat either XL or Barrage. So it's very unlikely they make it out of 8th place. But
it's
critically, this is their best chance to get a win up against Demise, who have also been struggling this split. They both made roster changes. So compared to the start of the split, for Demise, you have Rolfchen in the jungle and Zyko in the support. We've obviously seen other changes, but those are the ones at the moment. On the other side for Enclave, Wyzek in the jungle and the mid laner Eternity has come in. So they have obviously made a difference and we've seen a bit more life from them, but ultimately they haven't been able to find the success as obviously these changes were late in the split.
These jungle changes as well were the ones that have really made these teams, when they've had their moments of kind of glory, these moments where you're like, oh, there is life in this team, it has come through these junglers. Now, also Kerberos challenging out XL with the Tryndamere pick, and yesterday with his Darius pick, but ultimately wasn't enough to win that game versus Barrage. Kerberos and these kind of more Kerberos style champions, because we've been praising him all season long as a player who's been like, shifted away from that Kerb style and kind of started to play more as a team player. He's gone back to that Kerberos style, and now we're like, yeah, this is true Kerberos.
I think it came to the point where he was playing things like the Gangplank and the Ornn really well, in all honesty. It's not something we always see from Kerberos. He was very much a heavy split push player, but he showed he was willing to play for the team and doing it well, but unfortunately the team wasn't really there for him to play for. So now late in the split, when they're kind of outside the playoffs, he's leaning back on these picks like the Darius, like the Tryndamere, where he can make the game about him and just try and drive in the top difference. Now, Darius is going to be banned away.
Are they going to ban Trin?
Maybe, but we've seen a Janna ban. So actually, the Yasuo's a ban away from Zyko. That's his pocket pick. And then the Janna ban. So they don't want Only Angel to opt out of the lane up against Kerberos. 10.5, the solo lane Spell Thieves is just removed from the game, essentially. But on 10.4, you can still play Janna top. We saw it up against Team Liquid. We saw it also up against Fnatic, both teams losing to it in their respective regions. So Kerberos doesn't want to deal with that. Also doesn't want to deal with Ornn potentially in the top lane. So giving himself the best odds. Jarvan now going to come in as a ban away from Rolfchen. And very big move away from the typical bans we see from teams so far. No AD carries touched as of yet. And we'll see if that continues in that trend.
Well, you don't have that Ornn to kind of pull out that trade. So I feel like Demise maybe don't want to ban away the Senna, the Misfortune, or the Aphelios, but maybe they just want to take away at least one of them.
Yeah,
they do ban away the Senna, so now you have the Aphelios or the MF. So it's really down to what they want to be picking up here for the side of Enclave. Actually, they just want to go straight into the set. So Set technically a flexible pick as well. We have seen it go in the mid lane. We've seen it even go support as well.
Can go jungle as well.
Yeah.
I see it a lot in solo queues, so it's a possibility. And ultimately, it gives over to Demise their choice in AD carries, but Enclave still have an option to trade if they want to go the Misfortune, or Dirking has been very heavily leaning on the Ezreal in the past 2 games. So Aphelios locked in for Dragdar, and we'll see how the rest of things go. Now, critically, last game we saw Demise play didn't go too well, and a big condition with that was an early Darius pick, not as a counter. Now, the specific thing that we can see here is Demise are on red side. They can leave that counter pick till last. They can potentially give Kerberos a good matchup. You will see if the set is being flexed or not before that point. So I think they might end up doing that in the situation. For now, they're looking in the bot lane, giving a Thresh over to Zyko or potentially Zoran. Last game they played, they put Zyko in the mid lane on Yasuo and Zoran bot lane. So a bit of flexibility there. And the answer for Enclave will be that Misfortune. We talked about the AD carries being traded off.
And you don't want to be blind picking something like the Tryndamere for Kerberos, because we know that Only Angel is a player who likes to play things like the Kennen. These kind of range top laners who can, also help in the team fight with the Slicing Maelstrom. But for now, Enclave, they're looking to get themselves some pretty solid team fight locked in already as they get their hands onto the Misfortune, combining that with the Nautilus. Now, Demise, we expect to see them maybe pick up a jungler here at this point so they can get Wolf Chain going onto something like that. Gragas has been left open for him. Alternatively, they could look towards the mid lane. They're locking that Cassiopeia, and now we'll probably expect to see them ban away things that can deal with this Cass in lane. So what kind of things? Because typically we used to see like the Azir and the Rise as kind of things that would go up into that, but are they still the kind of picks you see
Rise
into the Cass?
So Cassiopeia is a counter matchup to Rise because he's locked into the animation facing at you when you can combo him. Azir works, and the reason Azir works is a range discrepancy. So the two things you can use to punish Cassiopeia is one, her priority early is pretty weak because she has to expend a lot of mana to shove. So you can win out if you can shove in, which Azir can do great, as can Ziggs. And the other thing both those champions do is they outrange. So that's a mage matchup you can beat her out with. Alternatively, you can pick heavy aggression and look to punish her before she scales up. So those are the options sort of available to Enclave if they want to pursue. But for now, both teams heavily banning away the junglers.
Yeah, I actually really like the Olaf pick, especially if you've got a Cassiopeia, because if Olaf just pops the Ragnarok, he just runs through the box, runs through everything, the miasma, doesn't matter, and then starts murdering your backline. So taking that away makes sense here. I also like the Gragas as well, because they're very low mobility. There's no extra mobility outside of that Lantern onto the Cass or to the Aphelios. So a Cast could just send everybody packing. And now it's over to Enclave. They're looking to ban away the Lee Sin. So 4 jungle bans. What's been left open?
Kindred is something that Isaac did play that he showed priority on, but we're kind of moving away from the typical junglers that we see. Echo and Shyvana are things Rolfchin has played that you could bring out here. I expect a jungle pick in this situation. Obviously, you can be countered, but I would like to leave that top lane pick as late as possible for Kerberos, because if you blind something here, it can potentially be countered and flex that set into the jungle or mid, and they're going to take the Karthus for Rolfchin. So I think they saw most success for Rolfchin when he was playing a farming jungler like the Shyvana. The Karthus scales extremely well in that regard. But the typical answer for Isaac is going to be this Kindred. You can ult actually to counter the ult from Karthus. You do look to farm, but also to press the objectives in terms of those marks. But for now, they're actually going to take the Zoe in the mid lane for Eternity. So something that can beat out the Cassiopeia in terms of priority. You can also look to punish if you land that Sleepy Trouble bubble. But the main thing is that you will get outscaled by the Cassiopeia.
All right, well, Enclave now looking to log in most likely their jungler, unless they want to put the set in the jungle. We'll see what they want to go for here. Like you said, the Kindred is pretty much a staple for Isaac. It's something when he first joined last year on Enclave, he was playing quite a lot and he had a lot of success on, so he is going to lock that in. And now, do Demise have something fruity planned for Kerberos? They've had this set picked at the beginning of the game, so you feel like if they were going to pick something a little odd, it would be now. And it looks like it might actually be the Cassiopeia top lane for Kerberos. And then they'll be sending that Tristana into the mid lane.
Yeah, so it's going to be difficult for Only Angel because Cassiopeia, as much as she's not a super long-range mage, she can just stay at arm's length away from you and never get face breaked if she plays it correctly. And Tristana into Zoe is actually a really bad matchup because Tristana can match the shove from repeated auto attacks. You can jump on the Zoe, and even if you land that Sleepy Trouble bubble, Zoran has the cleanse to mitigate that. And if you stack up the bomb, you can just take out Eternity. So I like the pick coming in here. I like the flex that they utilized on the back of the Cassiopeia. She's one of the mages you can put top lane. But ultimately, Enclave, they're going to be looking to try and play around Wiser, give him success in the early levels, and then punish this Karthus. That's a critical thing here. Put the Karthus behind, play with your sort of aggressive bot lane and your mid laner. If you put Zoran behind, potentially, if Vulcans out the game, you could give Eternity a sort of situation where he's able to contest that priority and then on the back of Isaac win this matchup. But as we said, this is a really important one for Enclave to get a win on the table, and Demise, it's a sort of last hurrah to try and end their losing streak, which has been on for quite a while.
Yeah, it really is about it's about making a statement in this game. You know, for the side of Enclave, we don't want to end the season 0 wins and, was it 14 losses?
It would be.
Yeah, it would be 0-14 if they can't find any wins. And like you said, next week's extremely challenging for them. They've got BTXL and Barrage on number 1 and on number 2 teams. If they can find a win there, that's almost heartbreaking, but you finally find a win and it's over one of the top teams. So they want to try and set themselves good going into this game and try and play around that. Now, Only Angel's taking the Predator on the set. So he's looking to kind of close the gap on Curb.
Usually, if you're playing into a range top laner where you can't really match them, Conquer is pointless because you're not going to be able to stack up and make use of it. So the two options you have are either the Aftershock, which obviously gives you more bulkiness when you get into fights, or the Predator, which can set you up to find great flanks or just get in range to use your showstopper. So I like the Predator in this situation because this game is very much going to be about threatening this back line. Obviously, there are multiple carries for Demise. They also have good peel from the Thresh and the Cassiopeia, and Karthus is going to put a lot of disruption in. But overall, I feel like there's a bit more sort of priority for Enclave to be threatening these carries. You want a big bullet time, potentially hitting the Aphelios or the Tristana, and you want Zoe to play aggressive as well.
So we're seeing Rulchin return to one of those farming junglers. Like you said, you want to be seeing Wyzek and the rest of Enclave playing around, kind of shutting him down. But last time when we saw him on that Shyvana, when he first kind of joined us here in the UKLC, for Demise, that was one of the big wins for them off the back of his Shyvana, off the back of him just kind of hard out farming his enemy. If he can't be shut down, we know what this guy's going to be able to do. Everyone knows how strong Karthus can get if he starts to get ahead.
But the critical thing is that Kindred doesn't fall off. So it's not like it's like an Elise and a Karthus where Elise needs to make the early game hers. Sure, Elise would have an easier time of doing that. But this is a situation where as long as Wyzek is challenging a bit, you take the scuttle that has a mark on, you steal away a couple of camps. That's all you need to do. You don't need to be 8-0 with 50 stacks at 10 minutes. You just need to be a little bit ahead of the curve, and then your ult can counteract the effectiveness of Karthus. If you win the team fight and then Karthus presses R, you can essentially stop any teammates from dying and then look to contest the objective you're fighting for.
And the key kind of first major power spike for the Kindred is that fourth stack. So it's how quickly Wyzek can find that fourth stack, because obviously if he can get that, he gets the additional range. Obviously he has all his extra damage as well. That's where Wyzek's going to start to feel a lot more comfortable to constantly challenge Wolfchin within his own jungle.
And I think range is a critical thing here because the side of Enclave, they're going to struggle with their ranges because only Angel, his engage is short range. Wyzek, until he gets stacks is short ranged. And you're dealing with the likes of Tristana, whose range only gets bigger. Aphelios, whose crescendum towers are extremely difficult, are difficult to deal with. And also the Cassiopeia, who she is sort of the queen of her range. If she meets you at that mid range in the later stages of the game, she beats out almost every champion. And if you can't outrange her, you're going to struggle. Now, they do have tools to do that. But I think the critical thing is, can only Angel and Wyzek be relevant? And where is Wyzek going to look to establish sort of control first?
Wyzek will have a problem with the fact that Tristana should realistically take over mid lane early, at least anyway, because of the kind of AoE damage you're doing with your auto attacks. Obviously, Zoe has AoE on her Q, but Tristana naturally has a pretty solid push. So if Wyzek wants to go for an invade, he has to be kind of worried that if Eternity doesn't have a good grip on the mid lane, he can always get collapsed on. And Kerberos should realistically be shoving in only Angel as well. The bot side is probably the only lane where it's a little bit different. They're not going to have complete dominance.
Yeah, I think Enclave are favored here, but there's a lot of disengaged tools from Demise. The Thresh really critical there. We'll have to see how Zyko's performing in the support role. So he previously played, he was initially brought on as a top laner for Demise last split, and then he switched to mid lane. When the mid laner was unable to play for them, and now he's playing support. So a bit of a multi-role talent, but we'll see how good he is on this Thresh. And they should just be able to mitigate that pressure, but if Wyzek makes that lane to play around, they could find some difficulties. I think the critical thing with mid is that Tristana often likes to jump in to stack up the bomb and jump out. If you interrupt that, if Wyzek comes there, you could potentially threaten a flash or a kill, and then on the back of that, you can translate that into pressure onto the Karthus, because if you burn the flash from the Tristana, put it down in terms of HP and priority, that's when you can sort of take over the mid lane and extend that pressure outwards. Whereas for me, I feel like Demise, their composition is very much sort of more scaling and on the back foot. And the only lane that they can really sort of play around in the early levels is Zoya in the mid lane. I mean, obviously Cassiopeia has the range advantage over Only Angel, but if you pump damage into Only Angel, he is still going to heal up on the back of the Doran shield in his passive. And Cassiopeia's mana cost early, not great to work with.
Now, we are seeing a small disconnect as soon as we got into the game, unfortunately. Looks like Wolfchin's having a couple of ping issues. I mean, he's on the Karthus. You don't really need ping to play Karthus, to be fair. You just kind of spam Q on the tower.
That's the critical thing, is you press R, and if it's a second late, maybe you've missed the window when it would kill.
Yeah, maybe you don't get to steal the kill.
Or maybe Wyzek's ult's about to come up.
Yeah, and he just didn't time it right.
Yeah, so...
Need that ping. Okay, well... Maybe it could have sorted out by the time we got to 6. I don't know. Hopefully it won't be too long before we get into the game. It just Actually, maybe it looks like it's Kerberos who's having the ping issues. I'd argue that's arguably worse.
Both having issues. So they're restarting routers and PCs, and hopefully that'll get fixed up shortly. For now, though, we can just wait.
Just wait. All right, you know what? I was going to do this at the end of the show, but seeing as we've got some time, we're fairly late into the day. I don't actually know what time is. Time is 9 o'clock here in Sweden, so 8 o'clock for you guys at home. So the day's kind of getting on a little bit. So I'm going to bring up your horoscope, and we're going to see if your horoscope predicted what happened today for you.
Okay.
So what is your star sign?
I'm a Leo.
You're a Leo. Okay. Leo? Oh, you're pretty close to me. When's your birthday?
26th. Wait, is this another question to try and get my my private information?
Yeah, can I have your credit card number, please?
Yeah, 26th of July.
26th of July. Okay, so you're pretty close to me. Okay. So pure wisdom is an important quality for you to aspire to on this day.
Always. Every casting day, of course.
Know that the wisdom you seek out could come from a point of calm, knowing the strength opposed to the frantic, loud, and outlandish display for attention. That doesn't even make sense. These things are not written well.
No.
That literally doesn't even make sense as a sentence.
That's so vague. It could, I mean.
They are just mumbo jumbo.
Well, it said, wait, what was that? It said frantic. Say that again?
Know that the wisdom you seek out should come from... Oh, God, there's an advert now. I don't want a free birth chart. Know that the wisdom you seek out should come from a point of calm and knowing and strength as opposed to frantic, loud, and outlandish display for attention. That literally doesn't make sense.
Right, you've picked the most scuffed horoscope website.
I try to find a different horoscope website. I bet it's completely different.
Well, yeah, everyone's going to have their own thing. You can't just copy paste from another horoscope website.
But don't the stars just kind of like throw down bits of paper? And we have to write them out?
True, you look at the stars and they tell you how it's going to be.
So what did you say you were, Leo?
Yeah, I haven't changed.
All right. Go with the flow. If you find that the situation isn't unfolding the way you'd like it, take it as a sign to back off. Swimming upstream is hard work, so use your energy more efficiently and exploring different options. When you step back from a stressful situation, circumstances could turn around, lighten up, by considering other possibilities or talking it through with a helpful friend.
So you're saying I should step away when things aren't going my way?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll see you later, dude. Yeah, and the pause is not going my way, so I think I just need to leave.
Bye-bye.
No, I'll come back.
You can talk it through with me, though. That's what it said.
Okay, I'm going to talk it through with you. So this pause, right, it's been going on for a little while.
Yeah, it's been going on for a little while.
Pretty upset about it. How are you going to help me?
I'm going to read my horoscope.
Okay, what are you?
I'm Virgo.
I should read it out. Give it to me.
Yeah, go on then. Hold on. Oh, okay. No, I closed the website. I'm actually every time I put my phone out on the last 2 days, I'm like full boomer on my phone. There you go. That's me.
Okay.
What does mine say?
Practice the art of moderation. As tempting as it is to just let go, it's time to put the brakes on overindulgence. You don't need to swing to the opposite extreme and deprive yourself. Instead of breaking the bank on a new head-to-toe outfit, for example, treat yourself to a chic but less expensive accessory. If you must have the whole look, keep your plastic under lock and key and pay for all up front. Apply the same logic to love. Give the object of your affections a little breathing room.
Yeah, I've been a bit too.
And you'll appreciate each other that much more when you're together.
That like. At the beginning, I was like, oh, it's just talking about my pasta. I've been eating too much pasta while I'm here in Sweden. But then I was like, I'm not buying expensive pasta. I'm buying pasta because it's cheap.
Okay, so
maybe it's telling me I need to buy some really posh pasta.
Yeah. What type of pasta have you got?
I got the one that looks like a little bow tie.
I don't know.
I don't know what it's called.
It
begins with a P.
It's not linguine.
Not pasta.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. I don't know what it's called.
Okay.
Maybe I should get... What's the stuffed pasta called? Because they're really nice, actually.
Ravioli.
Ravioli, thank you.
I find it difficult to keep track of all the different names of the shapes of pasta, but ravioli's like...
Ravioli is top tier, though.
Everyone should know that.
Yeah, actually, is ravioli top tier? It's for me. Oh, maybe carbonara. I had a carbonara last night. I've got to stop eating pasta.
But carbonara is not a type of pasta, it's a sauce.
Is it not the whole dish? Because it's like the cheesy, eggy... spaghetti with the bacon. I'm fairly certain it's the type of dish.
No, I mean...
Like the pasta dish is a carbonara.
I mean, I've seen different carbonaras.
I guess it could be the sauce.
I think
pasta's just the
the
base.
main feature is the sauce, you know? It's not like a lasagna where you have specific, like, the pasta in that shape. Maybe I'm wrong, though. Maybe we need an expert.
Maybe we do.
I don't know any pasta experts though.
You'd think me at this rate, but no. I'm not really reaching out. What shall I have? We're having a Max burger tonight on the way back.
Nice.
They're like Swedish Burger King, but they're actually so good. They're like really, really good. So I've been having too many of them, actually, to be completely fair.
Yeah, check it out if you go to Sweden. Probably not in the near future because the current travel situation is a bit limited, but in the future.
But you dodged a bullet because you were meant to be flying back tomorrow.
True.
Actually, you're staying out for another
You say
week.
that, but if I have a choice between flying back, potentially getting infected, and staying with you, it's pretty close.
Well, what do you think I've been flying out so much? To get infected to give it to you.
Wow, that's rough. We are finally into game. Enclave against Demise. The battle not to be last. And hopefully the ping issues have been sorted.
30 seconds until minions spawn.
That's a very colourful mid lane, actually. You got the Star Guardian Zoe with the blue chroma. Pink Demon Tristana.
Some of the chromas you can get, the colors are just really garish and in your face.
What's that new one? It's the like Black Frost Renekton. And it can just be like really bright now.
Yeah.
It doesn't even look like a Black Frost skin. It's just like bright blue Renekton.
Wait, is that just the standard Misfortune skin? Or is that Captain Misfortune? I can't tell.
No, that's basic Misfortune.
That's basic Misfortune.
Yeah,
wow.
Captain Misfortune, she has the gun with the
So we talked about this the other
barrels.
day, and you get 3 different types of people, I feel like, when you play competitive games, because I have every skin unlocked. And you have the people like Dirking who just take base skin, they don't care. You have the people like potentially the Heathen who's gone, or Rolchun, where they go for the specific skin they like. And then you have the people who go for the fanciest, newest, flashiest skin possible.
Your Zycos.
Yeah.
I'm bored of
typically
Prestige. I'm going to start a petition to stop players from being allowed to play Prestige skins in competitive. Because all they do is run the bloody Prestige skin. I'm so bored of seeing Prestige Misfortune. Every game. She has a lot of good skins. Like, so Arcade's a great skin.
Yeah.
Actually, is that one competitively banned? Some skins are banned because of effects.
I don't know. I don't keep track of this anymore.
Yeah, I suppose you don't. Because, like, Lux used to have loads banned.
Blitzcrank was the big one.
Yeah, Blitzcrank was one.
That skin's
Steel
still
Legion
so
Lux.
broken.
Might have to hold this fort because Wyzek is looking to come under Kerberos. Kerb, level 2, still got his flash. Just catching this wave. Wyzek maybe thinking a little better. Wants to wait for the wave to push up a little bit. And now that's the flash into the face breaker. Kerb's in for a little bit of trouble. Getting himself some movement speed off of the phase rush. And that is just first blood to Wyzek.
Very easily goes down. Unfortunately, isn't a stack, but I feel like if you set the stack on Kerberos, you probably would have played a lot safer than that. He goes down, and Only Angel in a pretty comfortable position. Critical thing is that Flash was not burnt from Kerberos, so not too much of a hit, because if he had to step up in the lane without that summoner, it would have been even more concerning. And Eternity tries to find out Rolfchen on these Raptors, but he goes a little bit too early. Rolfchen gets spooked out by the bot lane moving over, wanting to protect his red buff.
Yeah, he's well scared of that. Now, Zyko moving over as well. Wolfchen needs to be careful. A hook could land on him. He doesn't really know who's there. So Wolfchen's going for the contest, but Dragdar and Zyko also making their way forward. Wyzek is going to lose the red buff. Would have been a free buff start for Wyzek if that hadn't happened.
Now, critical things in this situation is, one, Zoira now had priority in mid lane. And the reason for this was because Eternity, I mean, he was already sort of struggling in priority, but he moved over initially and then went back. So he lost priority there, and Rolfchen had a level advantage. So for that reason, Enclave unwilling to contest. They end up backing away and giving over that buff.
Alrighty, well, it looks like Wolfchen's actually going to steal away the Krugs here as well. He's got the sweeper on, so he knows he hasn't been spotted, although maybe they're looking for an early dive. They've got a big wave to work with. As the wall's going to get placed. Durkey's going to take some serious damage from Dragdar. They do try to knock him back, and he is out of there. The flashes means everyone is safe. Zyko low on health, but he's not going to go down here. Looks for the hook, doesn't quite find it, and a great pick there for Demise in the bot lane. Very proactive play for a jungler who normally kind of just sits back and farms.
Yeah, they only actually used the flash from Rolfchen as well. So using the priority to crash the wave in, they kill Dirking. Heathen being alive doesn't matter too much because he's not really the one who wants to pick up the farm. So a good play coming out from Demise in the bot side. And
Oh, they got a Graviton. They've actually got a lot of CC to work with. His Heathen's going to take some serious damage, trying to turn it around. Dragdar gets the kill, and Zyko flashes away.
And a big mistake coming out from the Heathen there. No way you should die in that situation. And Demise finding massive advantages already. Eternity going aggressive with a double summon as he picks up. But Zoran's just going to jump away.
Curb was playing safe there, knowing that even though he had that flash from that first gank, wasn't willing to risk overextending while his jungler was on the bot side of the map. So he just played pretty safe and is starting to feel it a little bit in the lane. Going to try and get himself these Croaks to try and finish up his Tear of the Goddess on this base. I held his teleport as well, which is quite key from that gank early.
I think you can just look at the difference between bot lanes right now. We have BF Sword for Dragdar to a Doran's Blade for Dirking. That hurts. That absolutely hits. And it's an Aphelios as well, one of the best scaling AD carries in the game right now. At least in terms of the top tier ones. Misfortune does have a strong power curve, but Aphelios late game is absolutely monstrous. And it's a little bit concerning as a result of that. Now, big minion wave in favor of Enclave. They are going to try and shove this one in. Get it under tower so it can bounce back. Obviously, without Flash and Dirkin, you've got to be a little bit concerned. Even though it is a Karthus, the Demise have shown that they don't really care about that. They will use that to force in the bot lane.
Dragdar now got the flamethrower, so he's going to be able to clear out that wave nice and easy. Wisecook's on the bot side of the map, maybe looking to see if he can sneak up this Cloud Drake, as it has spawned up in his bot lane, are pushing, but Wolfchin gets flashed on here, plays at the Wall of Pain, and he even flashes forward, misses out on the Dredge line. Eternity looks for some damage in return, as Zoran gets ignited, does just hop away. Jungler and mid forced out, and this could just be the dragon.
What a team play from Zoran there, tanking the damage from Zoe to ensure that Wolfchin gets away. Isaac goes for the flash because he knows Wolfchin was flashless, but ultimately Heathen can't connect. It's 2 summoners burned for nothing. Yes, they get the dragon, but Enclave really would have hoped to get a bit more on the back of that. A stack for Isaac and a kill would have been really nice.
And I think Demise are okay, even though they've, done pretty well to win this bot side, or at least get advantages in the bot side, they're okay giving up this dragon. It's only the first one as Dragdar. What he doesn't want to give up is his life. Zyko comes in, they get a lantern, they get the Wall of Pain. Isaac trying to live, but Dragdar finds his first kill. In comes the showstopper. The face breaker is huge, and that's a shutdown for Only Angel. He gets himself a double kill with a Haymaker as a massive dredge line lands in. Zoran goes golden. He's going to try and flash away, but that is going to be Only Angel finding himself another one. Eternity is the one to secure the kill. And Demise lose 3.
Demise going for a fight where they're just not going to win it. Kerberos didn't have TP and they trade down massively. It was a great engage from Only Angel and they clean up across the board. Only Zyko able to survive from the bot side of the map and they get the shutdown from Dragdar. So really favorable towards them.
Zoran used both heal and cleanse there as well. So lost both his summoner spells, which means he has to play
Flash
even
and cleanse.
safer. Sorry, flash and cleanse. What did I say?
Heal and cleanse.
Heal and cleanse. Dragdar actually didn't use his heal. He's not even got it yet.
So we will have that.
Yep,
Yeah.
So next time. All we haven't seen is a lane swap come out from the side of Demise. They opted to go back towards the bot side. Knowing the Rift Herald is spawning up soon, actually kind of amazed to see they don't go for that reset, as now it looks like Kerberos making his way towards the bot side. And maybe it might just be the trade of plates. But we've seen a few times Aphelios players go for where they don't even bother for the Rift Herald. They just want to get the plates. But looks like they are going to get this base off now. And
this is rough timing because they actually missed out a massive wave in the top lane. Wolfchin's going to be able to pick that one up, but it does deny a bit away from Dragdar that otherwise he would have been able to get. He actually does stay a bit longer to get a plate. That's actually really greedy. I really dislike that because it slows you down from translating to the top side of the map. And this Herald's given up for free. So what's the point of swapping it when you're doing it so late that you're not going to be able to contest? That was extremely greedy from Dragdar. And actually, Kerberos potentially caught out here.
yeah, throws out the miasma. So he has a little bit of wiggle room as Wolfchin too slow to the punch, and now Enclave over-greeding in the bot side to get a plate for Dragdar now costs him the Rift Herald. And that means for Enclave, they're going to be able to start cracking some of these plates for themselves. 2 plates have already fallen down in favor of Demise, but Enclave should be able to equalize that out with the use of the Rift Herald and maybe find themselves first turret blood.
Maybe it's a big word. Can they set it up correctly? Do you see the bot lane now swapping towards top side just to match? The Herald already secure. They can place it where they want. Dragon going to be the next objective on the cards that Enclave could look to set up on.
So it's just trying to catch this wave in the mid lane. Has got the help of Zyko as he actually hops in forward as soon as that portal jump gets used. Still doesn't have the cleanse, but feeling very aggressive here on the Tristana. Wants to see wherever Wiseek looks to put down that Rift Turret, he wants to try and rotate down and answer as quick as possible with his team. As it looks like Dragdar's kind of caught in limbo. He doesn't know if he should be in top lane or bot lane at the moment.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what they're doing because they're putting a lot of pressure towards controlling this topside river. But what for? The Herald's gone, you know? And on the other side of the map, only Angel, he has his ult and flash available. He's got Wiseek there with him with the ultimate as well. They could look to punish Curb and get this tower on the back of the Herald. I feel like Demise are misprioritizing this side of the map right now, and they're likely going to get punished and potentially lose the first tower. Now, question is, will Dirking back away? Because you are being threatened.
Yeah, Zyko's running in. They're going to use that bullet time to try and clear the wave out, but Zyko's going to bring Wolfchin in, missing out on the hook as Zyko actually gets hooked himself. Zoran's joining into the fray, though, and Heaven is already burning low. The heal's been used by Durkin, and the wave was thinned out by the bullet time. Dragdar now left alone. Wiseek has still got that Rift Tail, so they're going to try and push out the turret, and the dive is just whiffed by Demise.
And on the other side, they kill Kerberos. They're going to get this tower low enough and throw down the Herald. And this all came down to Demise not switching in time to match the Herald. They give the Herald to Enclave. They then put their pressure topside. And it ends up being a better situation for Enclave, who can use the Herald to secure that tower. 370 gold to both Only Angel and Wiseek. And Kerberos goes down. So big play in favor of Enclave. And then have 2,000 gold up and getting a second charge off from the Herald. The tower won't go down, but it's definitely looking good. And Only Angel, extremely fed right now. We'd like to have a look at the gold numbers, and we can see 1,500 is the lead in top lane. Jungle, it's about 800, it's not significant, but we're 500 up in the mid lane. It's only bot lane that's behind, and you can make do with that because a fed set can essentially just dive through onto the back line, ult Dragdar, and that'll be enough.
Dragdar is going to go to base, look to spend out some of that gold and close in on that Essence Reaver. Looks like Demise now are going to rotate in towards this bot side. They want to get their hands onto this Infernal Drake. There's Only Angel's been sent down as well to catch the mid wave and shove that out. Zoran should be able to deal with this wave fairly quickly, though.
Yeah, he's got Ruptron to help him shove it in, but they're a bit late to this play, and this is why usually you should swap as soon as you realize the Herald is gone. No reason to stay topside. And both teams sort of rush in, try and establish vision. Looks like they're both willing to 5v5 for this objective.
Zyko needs to land that hook, though. They don't have a very quick dragon at the moment, but he's got the flank coming in from Only Angel, and he's looking to contest. In goes in, on to Kerberos. Kerberos dodges away, actually gets a good petrifying gaze off, and the lantern means he's out of there. Wolfchin inside the pit still as the bubble not going to find its mark quite yet. They do get a hook onto the supporters. Wolfchin's ignited, is not able to steal that one away. The Moonlight Vigil is there. In comes the damage from the ultimate, but it's negated massively by Wiseek to make sure nobody's going to die. Zyko goes in for the flash forward. They get themselves a shutdown onto Eternity. Facebreaker's going to do a lot, and that is just another one picked up. A shutdown for Kerberos. He's back in the game.
Enclave manages to get the second dragon, but ultimately they don't manage to win the team fight overall. Demise pick up 2, and the Requiem did a lot of damage in that fight. The ultimate from Wiseek actually a little bit early. No one was actually going to die from that Requiem, and all it meant was they were down a big tool for the continued fight, and Zoran able to help clean up, and they're going to translate that into some plates in the bot lane. Might actually have enough time. I don't think they finish the tower out completely, but at least get a plate or 2. Actually, just the 1, because Dragdar is going to back off and actually reset this time. So doesn't greed, doesn't overstay. He prioritizes being on the map sooner, so a better decision than he made earlier in the game. For now, Enclave still up in gold, if only slightly, but up in dragons by 2.
Zoran does need to be careful. Does rocket jump away from Wiseek as Heaven's looking to come forward here. Does have the ultimate, flashes away from the dredge line. That way it's just going to get caught by Dirking, so not really losing anything at all for the side of Enclave and just burning Zoran's flash for free.
Good summoner to take down. Obviously, the mobility of Tristana is quite high, but without the summoner available, you're kind of limited around your rocket jump. If you don't get the reset, you can be caught in a rough position. Now, bot lane and Demise have set up mid. Zoran went for a reset there, so he's going to have to come back up top. But right now, Dirking and Heathen just hammering away at that tower.
Yeah, they might even just be able to pick this up at this rate. No one's there to contest, so should just be a free turret. There's no place to give those bonus resistances, although the minion wave's a little bit thin at the moment, so it's just going to go low. Next wave, though, if no one goes to answer, they will lose that. It looks like Demise, they're okay giving it up, so they're going to try and make a play in the mid lane here. Multiple members grouping up, and Zyko needs to land this hook. Does get it, but the cleanse by Eternity is big. Zoran Rocket jumps forward as the bubble lands onto Zyko. And now the rest of Demise go, okay, we need to move around this map. We need to stop Dirking from farming up.
Yeah, they're going to make a move towards this Herald. They're all on the right side of the map for it. But they've essentially just given away multiple waves in the top lane for essentially nothing. They weren't able to do...
Oh, big hook. All of pain. Box. And Dragdar gets himself a kill. Eternity caught out momentarily there. A lot of damage from Dragdar. Eternity able to clear out the wave, but now it's Demise over the Rift Herald.
Bit sloppy from the healer in that situation. Should have been aware that Demise were leaning towards that top side. He gets caught out for free, and they're going to be able to take this Herald. Now, Kerberos is in mid lane covering that wave, but he needs to transition towards bot and catch the wave that Set is currently pushing in. But overall, Demise come out ahead in that situation. They're only 400 gold down, but they got the Herald, and they got a kill. They are now looking for Kerberos, though. They could dive here, but he does have flash and ult.
Yeah, stopwatch as well, so he's pretty safe for the moment, although putting the damage into Only Angel gets face breakered up, using the Showstopper and the Haymaker. Kurt's going to take some damage. They use the Requiem. Wyzik actually going to hold that for the moment as Kerberos finds the kill! What an outplay!
Huge play coming out from Kerberos there. Gets the stun just, and then it looked like he was going to tick over from the red buff burn, but the Lantern from Zyko comes in. Requiem was the icing on the cake to secure that play. And although they lose that tier 2 tower on the other side of the map, Zoran's just hammering away, and he gets one for himself.
Yeah, solo gold onto the Tristana. These carries are starting to get some gold put into them. Kerb maybe greeding for the wave here, and Wyzik wants to close that gap. The miasma means for Wyzik's going to have a bit of a rough time to step forward there, so Kerb's able to make his way out. And now Zoran just continues to push up in this bot side. Should be able to deny something here, as it looks like Dirking's going to make his way towards the bot side to catch this wave. Teleport's getting used by Kerb in the mid lane to cover this wave. And question for me is, where's Wolfchin going to use this Rift Herald? You'd expect them to use it to crack the mid lane open for themselves. You've got the Drake spawning up soon, though, so maybe they want to put it on an opposite side of the map and pull people away.
So I think you could throw it down mid, and then the enemy team has to react to it to defend their tower. And as a result, you can go for that Drake. They don't want to give another Drake over to the side of Enclave. It would put them on soul point. And being a mountain soul, that one is actually extremely good against the Karthus, because if you manage to get out of combat and he wants to ult you, the shield will regenerate and block a lot of that damage. So I expect to see it thrown down mid just as the dragon is spawning, but we have a bit more time and they're still fighting for priority as of now. Everyone is grouped up, apart from Only Angel, who is TP-less, and none of this on the other side of the map, so he's going to set the wave up. He's actually TPing for a flank.
Yeah, he's coming in right now. It's a deep, deep teleport already. The Drowsy does land onto the support, and that is going to be the end of Zyko. He does go gold with the stopwatch to dodge out on the more sparkles as Wolfchin pumps a bit of damage out into that side lane. Only Angel's trying to find a showstopper, but the miasma will deny him momentarily. Zoran firing away. The bubble does land, and in comes the damage. Dragdar just chunks through Dirking, and all of a sudden, Demise looks to turn this back around. Only Angel has to flash away from Zoran, who's looking for more and more damage. Enclave find the pick, but they don't win the fight. They're going to lose out on the dragon, and that denies soul point.
And Wyzik just oversteps, goes down without using flash or ultimate, and it means that long flank from Only Angel results in nothing. Demise put down enough damage that they aren't afraid of the set coming in solo. And ultimately, they get the dragon, as you said, denies soul point, and they're now 1,000 gold in the lead. And the scaling of their composition is pretty fearsome into the later stages, so...
And you're seeing the damage that this Fed Aphelios is able to do already. It's so scary for Enclave. They tried to find a pick. They used everything onto Zyko. And then Zoran and Dragdar just put everybody at arm's reach and just fire away, doing so much burst damage. And now Dragdar's going to go to base. He has a BF sword up on Dirking. He's probably going to be quite close towards his Infinity Edge already.
Yeah, so quite a bit up in terms of gold. You said he's a BF sword up. He's literally 1,300 gold ahead. So almost exactly. Now, I just want to remind everyone watching the stakes on this game. Enclave are yet to win a game this whole year in their organization, for Rainbow Six as well. They are struggling right now, and to get one on the board would be massive. Next week, they play against XL and Braj, our #1 and #2 team. So this is probably the last opportunity to get a win and avoid going 0-14 on the split. Demise ahead. Have strong scaling, but it's not impossible for Enclave to pull it back. They're 1,500 gold down.
Good playing with fire
Only
here.
Angel.
Doesn't need to be careful because Wyzik is about. Just land himself a little bit of poison, but Zyko also moving through. I spotted out that ward there, so it's going to be clearing that one out. As yeah, the finish up for Dragdar after that team fight and that dragon is he upgraded his boots and got an agility cloak. You can see that Zoran's now working towards his Infinity Edge. Started for the Storm Razor as his first item.
Bit of an interesting one. We typically see the Blade-Ruin King, but I suppose if you're not looking to cut through anyone's HP, the Storm Razor does apply that slow on that first auto attack to chase someone down. And it does transition into a crit build more easily. You'll have that higher crit percentage earlier. So definitely a build you can go into Tristana, although the typical one we've seen has been that Blade-Ruin King brush. Right now, Zoran potentially caught out.
Yeah, it's going to try and get the jump away. Only Angel can't close the gap.
He's trying with the Predator, but
yeah, he's really trying to run him down, but he's not going to find it. The Predator just timed out, and now Zyko lands a hook. Heaven's going to get chunked by the Graviton. Pinned in place. The bullet time's fairly big, though. Dragdar does set the Lantern out. Only Angel does jump over the wall, and Wyzik trying to close in. The Requiem's still available, and it's going to rain down hell onto Enclave. They do use the Lamb's Respite, but Eternity still gets chunked out. Kerberos looking to close that gap. No flash for him. The snipe from the Calibrum not going to land from Dragdar, as he just switch out now to the Chakra Gun. He's getting some lifesteal up. Big win there for the side of... Actually, no one. It was a 1-for-1.
But critically, Enclave, they get picked out. It looks bad, but they managed to kill the jungler in Rolfgen. The Requiem on cooldown is a pretty long one. Should be up for this next dragon, but not before that, I don't believe. Not too much anyway. And the main thing is that by killing the jungler, they deny any chance of them going towards that Baron. So a good pick in return. The Requiem there was denied by the Lamb's Respite, but it still leaves them very chunked in terms of HP. So definitely not optimal right now.
Just stealing away some of these Krugs here. Has got the backup of Zyko. Zyko's been sitting in Kerberos's pocket quite a lot this game. Dragdar pretty comfortable to play alone, play it safe when he hasn't got his jungler.
And Kerberos has done a really good job of finding waves, because considering how many times you saw Only Angel pushing solo on the side, Kerberos has managed to massively build up a CS lead of about 50 in this situation. And it does make it difficult because the set will get outscaled pretty hard by the Cassiopeia. Set a pretty big monster in the mid game. His engage is still very relevant late in the game. The Cassiopeia will just start to absolutely shred anyone in front of her, even the bulky set.
And now Zoran's just got that Buster Shot back, so the kind of window where they tried to punish is going to be up. He's got the flash, he's got the cleanse, he's feeling very safe. A lot of these cooldowns are becoming available here as Eternity looks for Zyko. The hook doesn't quite land from Zyko, but he does land his dredge line. Zyko gets chunked out and actually has to burn his flash, which means 38 seconds until the dragon spawns up, and with Kerberos getting credited on, they might be looking for something here. Gets him in with a showstopper, instantly goes golden as he does get put to sleep, and Kerberos takes a lantern out with a flash. The box gets used. Wyzik gets stunned. The bullet time's enough though. They find that shutdown. They've still got the Requiem to work with. The Moonlight Vigil's going to do a fair amount of damage. Wolfchin not willing to follow up though. Enclave find themselves a pick onto the top laner.
And I'm counting that cooldown. Wyzik is running to try and heal up of something. He doesn't realize his entire jungle is actually being cleared, and Zoran's is pushing the top lane. So yes, a pick on a Kerb is great. It might not mean they get anything else.
He's actually mincing these turrets. They're going to go for Soul Point, but Zoran's going to crack the base open here. The rest of the team are just barreling towards the Baron. They got a very quick Baron with the Aphelios. He's got the perfect setup.
He's got the perfect weapon combo. Zyko is actually trying to be a safety net here with the Lantern. They're not fully committing, and the Dragon does go over to Enclave. It's not Soul. It's Soul Point. It could have been a different story if Demise didn't deny that one earlier. Top lane tower pretty squishy. They're actually going to look for Only Angel here, but he does back away. Things will get reset. So a favorable fight for Enclave, where they do manage to find Kerberos. A bit overextended. The Lantern from Zyko a little bit off, so Kerberos had to flash to take it. And then that wasn't enough to keep him alive. The ult nearly enough to take down Wyzik. The Lamb's Respite just comes down in time. But now, Dragon off the table for another 4 or so minutes. Baron's still on the cards. You could see both teams sort of slowing the pace down or potentially looking for another pick to set up a fight. Right now, Dragdar has a big 2-item spike. 3 is the critical one. we look towards Fawn Aphelios, but he is pumping out a ton of damage right now.
Yeah, he's got the Infinity Edge. He's got the Essence Reaver. On the other side, Zoran just went to base, got himself the Infinity Edge and Storm Razor combo. It's a lot of crit damage as Zyko almost getting caught out by the burst there, but able to dodge away and everything thrown out from Enclave. Eternity needs to be careful, does have the teleport coming in, and the fight looks to break out. Zyko, he may just have to give his life up, throws out the box, just buys some time for his team. Only Angel finds the kill, and this could just be a bit of Baron pressure given over to Enclave, maybe even the Baron.
Flashbang from Dragdar is critical, but they will look to fight in this situation. Kerberos is pushing the side lane, but has that TP available. Only Angel on the flank, and Eternity waiting for a potential pick. They start it, but they instantly back away. They're looking to potentially pick off Rolfchin here. He was just trying to shove mid. Only Angel's got Predator.
And the Predator, they are chasing for Wolfchin here. Looks to flash over that wall, gets slowed down momentarily into the burst damage. The showstopper's enough, and Wyzik is going to find himself the kill now. Using the Lamb's Respite and the shield from Only Angel means that Requiem actually does nothing. Kerberos is shoving away bot side, but with these picks, it actually looks like Demise are just going to have to lose up on the Baron here.
No, it looks like they're reset, and they don't want to go for it that low on HP. With the jungler down, you might have felt confident, but they respect the AoE potential of Dragdar with Infernum and the Moonlight Vigil available. With Kerberos with TP and the side lanes being threatened, they back away. A nice pick, but ultimately Demise still up in gold and able to hold off for now on Enclave's Baron attempt.
Yep, Zoran just going to steal away the blue buff as well. He's got a little bit more mana. He's stealing away a lot of camps, actually, denying Wyzik a fair amount here, which is pretty big for them at this point. As Dragdar, with the Infernum's pretty comfortable pushing out his ways, but the flash over the wall by the Heathen onto Zyko. Once again, the support just getting punished. There's no Raptors to hook to, and Wyzik finds himself his third kill.
And both these teams just looking to punish the supports. Immobile if you track them down. Only really have their hooks to try and get out of a difficult situation. Zyko now down means no lantern, no safety element for Dragdar and Kerberos who are flashless. They might just go for round 2. Predator coming in.
Yeah, they got that Pred on. Dragdar's going to have to buy some space as the Miasma actually makes a big slow zone so they can't chase.
Yeah, and I think Only Angel has to be cautious because you may be able to run them down with the Predator, but you go far enough and you don't have your team following you up. So they won't go for the Baron right now. This is a little bit dangerous because Rolfchin's actually on Gromp right now. They could just start the Baron. Why?
Yeah.
Why are you there?
They haven't got anyone. You can see Dragdar's resetting.
Wait, look, just go to Rolfchin, please. And
Everybody's resetting on the side of Demise.
What are you doing?
Kerberos is resetting, Wolfchin's resetting, Dragdar's resetting, and Enclave, they're just given the freest Baron I've ever seen. Demise must have known that they were wanting to do that Baron.
Demise do the Enclave Baron. We saw this earlier on when Enclave all reset at the same time and lost a Baron. Demise do the same thing and essentially give over that objective for free. Really don't understand
your
it.
pink for that, your blue for that there, Zoran. Make sure you can steal away those Krugs unseen.
I mean, I'm lost. Lost on it. Demise are doing fine. They have a lot of scale in their composition, but now they're giving over the Baron. It's allowed Enclave to equalize in terms of gold. And the Dragon is about a minute away from spawning. It would be the soul for Enclave, but they can also choose to give it up and look to pressure instead, because it doesn't mean much for Demise. It's only the second Mountain Dragon. It doesn't give that massive shield to them. Now Demise is going to try and push in bot lane, apply pressure, then maybe rotate to that Dragon. Again, Wyzik's on the complete other side of the map getting a stack, so at least there's that justifiable aspect of it. But
Got a lot of vision heading through. As the pan over, you can see all of the wards placed on that red side. Thank you very much, observers. So they do have a lot of information to play with here. They are stepping back a little bit. The turret does go down in the mid lane, though. And now they're looking for a pick onto the Heathen. Heathen's already being chunked out, and Dragdar's pinning him around. But look at that bullet time. It's huge. Only Angel's burning to the Ignite. In comes the Requiem. The Lamb's Respite will only save a couple of members. Zoran tries to pump the damage back out, but everybody on the side of Demise go down. And Enclave, they're looking for their first win here of the spring split of 2020.
And they should be looking to get it. They're going to take the inhibitor here. I don't think they'll be able to end because they sent 2 members to the Soul. They want to play things safe and secure everything they can. Ultimately, Demise, they go for desperation play on the Heathen, but he's a Nautilus with Stoneplate that was never going to work. And the turnaround is huge. Dirkin getting a huge ult, and then Wyzik with the Lamb's Respite to keep them safe.
They're getting even more turrets here.
Demise just looking sloppy.
Demise looking very, very sloppy.
But Enclave, as you said, this could be it. This could be the first win of the year for them as an organization. The 2,300 gold up. They have the soul. The Baron is timing out pretty soon, but they've managed to get that mid lane inhibitor.
And it feels like Demise were just too itchy with their trigger finger in this game. Dragdar got incredibly fed early. Zoran's doing well at just keeping a CS lead. Kerberos also getting a big CS lead. But these teams are just overextending these players, and Demise just forcing when they don't need to force. Basing and resetting for items at weird times, trying to keep the CSing up, and it's costing them heavily. Enclave are just reading them and matching them on everything they can do. Zoran is in that bot lane, so is Kerberos, so they're just going to try and catch a wave here. Quite far away from any towers, so it's just a bit of farm for Kerberos, who wants to try and finish up his next item. He's getting collapsed onto, so he's having a base. Can he get away in time? They spotted him out on the ward, and Kerb's going to make a grand escape. Snake Lady not getting caught here today.
It would take extreme confidence for Only Angel to run straight towards that bush and flash face break, and that was the only way he was able to stop it in time. So ultimately, they do reset. But right now, there's nothing really on the map that Enclave need a challenge. It's just applying that pressure and setting up for when the Baron does spawn. They have those big shields on their favor now, which is going to make it harder for the Requiem to find any purchase. But we are seeing item spikes come in across the board. We've got the Rabadons for Eternity, which is a pretty big one. Hex Drinker, the Deer King offering some more protection. We have the Randuins and the Adaptive Helm for Only Angel, going to make him a lot tankier. And we're not yet at the Runan's point for Dragdon. That's typically a very big point for the Aphelios when you can hit that one.
It should be close. He's been on that Zeal for a little while now. You can see Zoran's already been to base and picked himself up the Phantom Dancer. It's actually a little bit of a ways off still. Needs 1,100 gold before he has the gold to buy that.
Should be able to get this before the Baron, but it looks like he's going to be farming the bot side, so I would actually like to see them give over the Gromp to him, because then he might be able to get, and it's still going to be a little bit more than that in all honesty.
No, he has enough, I think. Or is it 1,400 if he doesn't have daggers?
It's 1,300.
Yes.
Or is it 1,200?
It's 1,100 when you've got all your components, I think.
They changed. No, when you have all the components, it's 600. When you have double
yes,
dagger.
You're right. It's 1,100 then with doubled.
It's 1,200 because 2 daggers are 300 and it's 1,200.
Yeah, sure. You're right. You're right.
And we'll see it because you'll recall and it'll drop down by 1,200 and then a little bit more for control wards. Boom, 1,200.
Yeah, there we go. Bought
and the control ward.
ward.
Yep. I mean, in fairness, I do keep changing the cost of these heal items, so I can.
You know what? I've taken your advice. I started playing bot lane mages recently, so I haven't built a Harunans in a while.
I mean, it's way better. You have these expensive items, whereas, you know, once you have Ludens as a mage, you're full build, essentially. Maybe
Dragdar can deal with these
tech-ish.
super minions pretty easily now. He's got that Hurricane and the Infernum, so instantly cuts through that wave. Kerberos pushing up in the bot side. He's got teleport. Zoran doesn't have teleport as Wolfchin. He's just getting caught out in the bot side. That's an easy Baron gifted over to the side of Demise, over to Enclave. As Demise, they're just going to try and contest in the bot side. They're going to try and crack open the base. Only Angel does have to be incredibly careful as Zoran is just going to take this turret. Kerberos even tanked the tower to make sure the minions lived, and they are going to look for a bot lane inhibitor. Teleports are coming in though. They're looking to go for this play right now. Eternity's onto that flank, and it will be the inhibitor falling. Meanwhile, Zyko's getting caught out. Everybody from Demise are just getting caught out left, right, and center. Eternity needs to find a big paddle star, but Zoran just jumps onto Eternity. He's now getting chunked out. Tries to go golden for the moment, but he's on top of the miasma. Misses out on the bubble. That's the shutdown for Kerberos. Dragdar is mincing through the resets right now. The showstopper's been used, but the turret's going down. Kerberos gets showstoppered, goes golden. A face breaker lands onto 2 into a massive haymaker. Kerberos will fall, and Demise's chance to hold out have just slivered away from them. The Requiem is coming out, and the Zoran is putting some distance between him and everyone, as Durkin cannot run him down. The Heathen is dead. Baron won't be going down now, and Demise may just have got themselves back into the game.
Durkin's trying to run him down. He has a ton of movement speed, but ultimately won't find it. It was a close one there, very intense. They lose a Nexus Tower and the inhibitor. That's on the opposite side from the Baron, but ultimately they take Kerberos down, but they lose enough members. The Heathen going down means even when Kerberos spawns, because he has TP, Demise will be ready to fight. So right now, Enclave just have 4 members on the map, but quite a few of them are a long distance away. Kerberos is up in 10, so there's no real opportunity to take a free Baron. But 50 seconds until that Elder can make things a lot more exciting in this game. 34 minutes, we're 800 gold apart. It's as close as we can get. Will Enclave get their first win, or will Demise deny them?
Dragdar wants to base. He's got like 1,400 gold right now on the Aphelios. He really wants to have that extra item, that extra component, probably a BF sword towards a Bloodthirst or something like that, but he can't, because if he does, Enclave will just pull the trigger on the Baron.
Still doing a load of damage. Now engage from him!
Curb! That was so disgusting! A massive hook into Durking! Eternity's putting the damage back out though. It's a big old trade-off. Wolfchin's in the front line and Dragdar chunking out members. Zyko with the godlike hooks. A shutdown for Dragdar and Enclave. Their chances, their hopes of going 0-14, 1-13 are just deleting before their eyes. Durking with the Mobies is trying to get some distance out. It won't be the ace, but it will be the base.
They're looking to chase him down, though. The hook won't connect. We're jerking miles away. They're looking to end the game, and oh, he's going to go down now.
It's the delayed ace as well. Dragdar has to go golden, but he does crucially live there. Demise, this game was looking so rough. They deny Enclave their chance of a victory. The Nexus will fall at 35 minutes. Demise win the game.
And it hurt so much for Enclave. It felt like this could have been the one. It was close throughout. They nearly looked to threaten the Baron off the pick on a Rolfchun, but Kerberos comes in with the 1v9 Flash Cassiopeia ult, hits on a 4 members, and just ends that game in one move.
Curb, I'm actually lost for words. That was such a sick, petrifying gaze. Miasma down, and then also the hooks. The hooks by Zyko. He landed 2 insane hooks in that
To go
fight.
for that play, I mean, you saw, even despite that insane opener, there was still a bit where Enclave started to give some in return, and it looked a bit concerning. To have the confidence at 35 minutes in a game where one mistake can mean it's over, and to go for that play and single-handedly bring it in for the team, it was a huge one. And ultimately, Demise, they retain their 7th place spot. They're actually now tied with Phelan, although I'm not sure on the head-to-head. We can check that later. But they have potential to push further
I've got
up.
it here. Oh, no, I haven't. My thing's skipped already. Don't worry. We'll check later.
Ultimately, they have an opportunity to potentially move as far as 6th place. So pretty good for them, but they deny Enclave. Enclave now at 0 wins, sitting at 8th locked in, and next week they face the top 2 teams. It's feeling extremely rough, and this was their opportunity. It was close for such a long time, and then it came down to one big play, and Kerberos clutched it.
Kerberos really close. That fantastic win there coming through for the side of Demise. But we still have one more game to go. Coming up after the break, it's going to be Envision versus Fnatic Rising. You don't want to miss this one. We'll see you in a second.